Sometimes Google is, and it doesn't stop, but it did that time. Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
I hope everyone is having a great day, have had a great week so far. You are here to get some information on fees and whether or not people are lowballing you. Now, I must tell you, this is going to be more of a conversation. And I want your opinions about what you think about some of the information that I'm going to share. So this is about sharing information tonight as much as me giving you my opinion. And keep in mind, anytime I give you information, I will source my information. I will tell you where I have collected that information. And if it is my opinion, I tell you that also. So somebody just said that they were new to the group, and I just started talking without introducing myself. So I am Liz Head. So I am Liz Head. Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
EC Head training workshops, notary training workshops. Now, I just mentioned about source of information. We're going to ask, you guys are free to, this is a participative conversation that we're going to have. However, I am going to ask that unless you are speaking, that you keep your mic on pause or on, what do you call it?
Mute.
Keep it on mute. Now, also, you see right here at the top, I said source of information and I got talking heads, right? And you're going to see later on why I say talking heads. I have a disclaimer up here. Information contained within how to determine fees is solely based on Liz Head of EC Head Notary Training Workshops opinions. My opinion is based on my experience over the last 6 years as a part-time loan signing agent with over 2,000 closings. I work approximately 20 hours a month doing loan signings. Acceptance of base fees is a business decision to be made by each individual signing agent. You will see and hear a lot of different opinions in Facebook groups. Remember, most are opinions. Decide who you will follow instead of attempting to gain insight from everybody who decides to post their opinion, which may or may not be what is needed for your roadmap to success. Your roadmap to success. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, what we're going to look at now are some conversations. And you see the quote marks. These are conversations from Facebook groups. And I'm going to ask someone to help me by reading some of these, and then we can discuss what we think about them. Can we do that? Can I have some volunteers?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I heard some volunteers, so I'm happy about that. All right, somebody take it away. This is the first conversation in a notary group. Read this and let's give 5 minutes discussion on this post. What you think?
To remain competitive, you should do some research for your area to see what notaries are charging. You don't want to charge way too high, and then your work is limited because you are the overpriced notary. Figure out what is the average in your area. People just throwing out fees will not help. You may hurt your business by charging too much or too low.
Who just read that? Was that Nicole?
That was me. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it lit up around you and you're in my sight. Okay, so what do you think about that comment, Nicole?
It makes sense. I mean, it's really individual. It's your fees have to be based on what your profit margin is that you want to achieve, and that could be very different than what everybody else is in the market.
Okay, anybody else got a comment on that?
I have a comment, Ms. Liz.
Okay, that's Miss T.
Yes.
Okay.
We were just having this discussion the other day in a notary group, and we were discussing that yes, everyone's price margins are different. However, in my last few weeks in discussing fees with schedulers and signing companies, they are basically saying that our peers in our area set the fee schedule for us. So if someone goes too low, that's going to be the new average. So everyone should be on the same page as far as fees so we can get these standards back up, because right now they are too low and everyone is pretty much taking signings that are worth $150, $200 for 75 in my area. That's just my area. But
Where is your area?
Tennessee.
Okay. Okay.
So
Alright.
if we, all get on the same page, not necessarily saying too high. They told me I was too high and my average is 110 for a refi. So 110, 150, I'm too high where they're going to select John Jill over here that's only coming in new and saying, all I need is $75.
Okay. All right. We're going to take that into consideration. Now that's 2 comments, and I think that was our 5 minutes on this particular post. Let's see what else we've got. Who else is going to jump in and do these?
I can do this one.
Okay, Felicia.
Dying down, so I need to lower my fees in order to get anything now. Well done that and still nothing. Can't lower fees too low. They was already low to begin with. Response to above, I now get about 3 per month from them, but I'm not dropping my fee. My business may be slowing down, but they are still getting their same fees so they can kick rock with that BS.
All right. I'll take 2 comments on this. Anybody?
Liz, I have a comment. My name is Marsha. I'm new to the group.
Marsha, are you Zoom user?
Yes, I am.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
So my question to the group would be, since I'm new to loan signing, does anybody have any opinions about doing mentors to the new people more frequently to help decrease this problem or eliminate this problem? Because I'm in a couple of notary groups and I see all types of questions and comments, like you other ladies as well, I'm sure. These ladies simply don't know. I don't know if it's about just bringing in the income versus not knowing. But my opinion is if we got more mentors to step up to show them the ropes, then this may help alleviate this problem.
Okay, Miss, I'm sorry. So your name ain't up there, so I'm just got to call you Zoom user. You can change your name. You can change that to your name.
My name is Marsha.
Well, yeah, but I ain't gonna remember next time, and I'm still gonna be saying Zoom user. You know how to just go up there, click on that, and change your name to change Zoom user to Marsha. Anyway, you're asking about mentoring.
Right.
I'm going to suggest to you, since we're going to talk about fees tonight, and I don't know that mentoring would necessarily take care of the fee problem that you're talking about, that we're talking about tonight. However, when we get into mentoring, I offer mentoring for people who've gone through my classes. I do free mentoring for them. And what I've tried to do is to do group mentoring 60 days after the month of the class. People don't come, but then they will call one-on-one with questions. I also suggest that you may want to, there's a YouTube video or several videos. It's in 3 parts, I believe, that I did several months ago. And there's a difference between, sometimes people ask for mentoring and coaching. We need to understand the difference between what those mean. And also we have to understand that all of us are independent contractors. And when you ask for mentoring, know what it is you're asking for, because I do training, that's part of what I do, and that's part of my income. I make that a part, mentoring a part of my training for those who go through my training classes. Does that make sense? Where you
Yes.
go, Marsha?
Hello?
Yeah, Marsha, where are you?
I'm here. I changed it to my business name.
You just won't give me Marshall. Marsha.
Marsha.
She just
Yes,
won't give me Marsha. Okay, but anyway, what I offer you is to go, well, at least I can see you now. That ain't helping with the name. Now I'm gonna call you Miss Wright Notary.
Hey,
But,
the lady with the bun.
But I invite you to go because that's another whole nother thing. So I invite you to go to my YouTube and look for the mentoring and coaching.
Okay.
Video.
So maybe, and I'm not trying to take over your Zoom, but maybe the other ladies can give some input as to how we can alleviate this problem. I totally agree. I don't want to start out lowballing.
Well, this ain't the Zoom for that, Marsha. But we can do another Zoom. I did say this is about a conversation, but that would be a whole nother.
She was trying to get buck with somebody with her.
Huh?
It was.
Y'all making me work harder than I really want to. Can y'all please mute your mics until you want to speak? Miss Denise has her hand raised.
Okay, well, Miss
My
Wright.
opinion is that it's not so much a matter of mentoring, although that's a part of it, as it is with people with no real business background and who don't know how to calculate their cost, and they're not going to realize how much they've lost or not earned until tax time.
Right. So that's why I was saying.
Hold on, stop. Okay. Let's get through this because we're going to actually look at how you could calculate your fees. So that may clear. Turn that thing back on, Ms. Wright. But that might help to alleviate some of that. So after we're done with the presentation, and we can come back to make a note, even though Ms. Wright and Ms. Denise, I don't think you're going to forget. But write those things down. And if we don't hit on what you need in another part of this presentation, then we will discuss it after the presentation. But what I'm doing these conversations from Facebook for a reason. Mm. Can we just stick with this for a minute and we can come back to that? Okay. That work, Ms. Wright? Sure. Girl, she just bit her tongue. She bit her lip. She got a lot to say, and I love it. I want to hear it just in the right spot, in the right place. Gotcha. I want to hear it. So here's another conversation. Miss Wright, since you were doing so good, go ahead. Since I'm looking at you, read that one for me.
Okay. Your nails are pretty.
Thank you. April the 22nd, I just confirmed my first loan signing appointment. It has 4 acknowledgements, 2 sworn statements, and a deed that needs to be notarized. I know Coast to Coast is giving me $75 and it's only 15 minutes away. My question is, because it's a third party, I reviewed the docs after confirming appointment, $15 per notarization. Should I ask for more now, or is it too late, or wait? I see that it says add notarizations. I take it that it means I add my price of what I notarized.
That ain't what it means at all. I'm just gonna say that and we're gonna move on. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll read it. Are y'all seriously excited about these these fees though? Tell me the signings are just a few pages or something. I typically don't leave my house for less than $100. They talking about $65 for a refi. Response to above. I take $75 hybrids quickly for my zip code. Easy peasy. Docs always early. Pay always on time every 2 weeks. Borrowers are always informed. 35 pages max to print and take laptop. some get higher fees for the hybrids, but it depends on the area.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. All right, who wants to do another one?
I'll read it. M Notary 1, see what I mean? These new notaries need to learn how to calculate their expenses when accepting these offers instead of complaining. Help them. ABCDEF called me the other day and asked if I needed to update my fees or anything. I told them no, but I had not received that many notifications. She told me to call a different department and check on their end. I have an A+ rating with them. I called this morning. Apparently agents in my area are doing refis for $60.
Wow.
All I would say is it was fun while it lasted, and I'm so glad I was able to make direct connects with builders, investors, and title companies. Y'all have a good Friday. T Notary 2, $60.
You saying perfect.
I can bet they out here talking about they booked and busy. I have one company that pays me $90. The rest 150 and up. They can keep that 60 mess. Shaking my head. Notary 3. But every time I point this out here, come to mind your business model, people. Laugh out loud with the gap.
Yeah, it had a funny thing. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out, where you see ABCDEF, a company's name was actually in that post.
Woo.
I urge you, do not post company names. Block it out. You can lose that business that you're bragging about you're getting from that particular company. You can lose it by having those conversations about the fees or anything else that they may or may not do. You can lose that business that way. So, who has a comment? I'm sorry?
You are really attractive.
Okay. I don't think they were participating in this conversation. Anybody got any comments on, I'll take one comment on what has been said here.
Hi, Miss Liz. I got something for you.
Okay, Gina.
I come from a heavy administrative background, especially office and customer service. And for me, it's not the fact that you are, it's not the fact that, you know, the more senior notaries are just letting us know that, hey, we are shortballing ourselves. It's the tone in which they talk to the new notaries that just turns me completely off. So I can't focus on what you're saying because the first thing I know is you're talking to me very condescending and very aggressive. And so I hope that this meeting, and I think that you will, but I hope this meeting that you're going to, you know, kind of explain to the more senior notaries that, hey, listen, you know, you don't always have to talk to people a certain way to get your point across.
Gina, thank you for that. But get this, Gina, there are very few seasoned notaries who are on this.
Right.
I've got, how many people? We have 79 people, 300, about 300 signed up. Oh, we got 79 people on here. And I would venture to say, let me see if I can just see a few, but you're not going to have a whole lot of senior notaries on these trainings because they don't perhaps think that they need to learn this part of the business. Right. Now, I'll go back to when I started this presentation, and now were you a little bit late coming on?
Yes, ma'am. I had a little trouble signing on in the beginning, so I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I only asked because in the beginning, I explained that what you're seeing here is my opinion.
Okay.
And also, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's about my opinion, and it's about what I think about the fees and so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. I pulled some of these oh, I know what I said. I know where I was going, Gina. instead of trying to follow a whole lot of people on Facebook to get information, just choose 1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 groups, and then you follow those people, the ones who do treat you with dignity. Those are the ones you follow. The other people who are not being kind, or just being impatient, or just want to show how smart they are, those are not the ones you want to follow.
Mhm.
So
I
you just
agree.
have, because there are so many people out here, there are so many groups. You don't want to spend your entire day going through Facebook posts. That's your time for you to go make you some money. Pick you 1
Right.
or 2 people, pick you a certain time of the day when you will go on Facebook. And then, you know, just leave the rest of that stuff alone. Those people who are mean, they don't know any better. They don't know any better.
Mm. And yeah, it makes sense what you're saying, because I have, and as a newbie, you know, the first thing we do is want to learn as much as we can. And so we join. I think I may be in about 8 notary groups. I don't even know how I found them, but I'm in about 8 notary groups. And so I spend the bulk of my day just going through Facebook, seeing what, you know, what this question is, what that question is, or what this person have to say. And most of the questions are repeated. So I'm wasting valuable time that I could be signing up with agencies.
Yeah,
So
and then
I see
also,
what you're saying.
as I will tell you at the end, you can't get your, it's difficult to get good solid training from Facebook posts. You know, you can use some Facebook posts to supplement your learning, but these posts that I'm reading to you, or you guys are reading, this is not where you learn how to do this job. So we're just gonna go on to the next one. Gina, go ahead, take
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Go ahead and take this one.
Oh, girl, I need my glasses. No, I'm just joking. Hold on. Here we go. It says, R Notary 4. This is the same one. I think this may be the same one.
It's a different one.
Okay, I take A, B, C, D, and F loan hybrids, and I get $65 for the refi. That is about 40 pages. I can't see, hold on. 40 pages and 20 for the printing, $85. Normally, I am in and out of the appointment in less than 20 minutes. This amount works fine, and with most of my signings are within 5-mile radius of my home. I will take them all day. I look at what works best for my business and not what works for others. I think should be charging.
There you go.
It's true. It says Notary 4 says, this part I love the quickest loans through Amrock because such easy money, and I never have to drive more than 5 to 10 minutes out of my way. My profit margin is actually higher on those closings due to the fact that it costs me hardly anything.
I forgot to redact Quicken and Amrock.
Yeah.
So, but we're just on, this is just quoting, but still, I missed redacting that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
The last one says, the last one says, they're doing what's best for their business. As they spend we'll start hearing another wave of complaints. Don't worry, it's coming. And grammar, I'm not the best grammar person, but grammar matters.
Well, I'm telling you, you see these quotes? That's exactly the way. The only thing I changed were the names of the people, and where you see the R and the K's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, they ain't talking to us again. But I changed, but I had to put something in there so I could separate the comments, and that's where you see those initials. But okay, what's next? Who wants to go ahead and give us this one?
I'll take it. Notary 4. Nothing is eating up my fees at all. I don't worry about what others accept fees. I worry about my fees. And I am a seasoned notary. I definitely will never go in a group complaining about fees. It is the fee. If the fee is too low for me, I decline and keep it moving. So nothing will be coming from me. Notary 7. This post get reposted every day. Notary 7. This my post and a continuation of my post from yesterday. Notary 8. What is their alternative? Someone without experience needs someone to give them a chance. These $60 offers is that chance. You still have the experienced folks taking these offers when things are slow. So newbie and veterans are taking these offers. What's the solution to the problem?
And
Well,
you see
now-
this, I gave this one a gold star.
Yes, I agree with this one.
I
mean,
gave it a gold star.
I agree
And-
with that. And the reason why is I am new as well. And I get a lot of offers for some like $70, some 80, 95, 100. And most of them are close to me. So with me trying to learn the ropes and being new, my fees are my fees. Even with my other business, my fees are my fees. If I feel like that's going to be best for me, hey, I'm all up for it.
Very good. Very good. All right.
Can I
Who
say
wants-
something on that? Can we go back?
Yes.
I also agree with Cindy. I'm not seasoned like my mother. I've only been doing it. This is going on 3 years. You got to start somewhere and you got to get the experience, so yes, in this other thing, I took it to learn how to do them. Once I learned how to do them, now I know, okay, I'm not doing it for $70 anymore, but I had to learn, and that was a great opportunity for me to learn. Then after you get it, okay, you good. Okay, now you can set your fees. And also, if you're new, no one's going to pay you those high dollars because you're new. You might make mistakes. So yeah, I agree with that. Once you learn, then it's all gravy, but you got to learn first. Crawl before you ball.
Can I stop you there?
I third that motion.
Can I stop you there? And I totally get what you all are saying, but in conversation, yes, you took that signing to get experience, but what happens when that fee no longer works for you and you counter and they reject and you're like, well, I'm worth more now because I know what I'm doing, and they respond, there's no need for you to counter. You were already accepting them for the low fee. So let's keep it there.
I can't speak on that because that's never happened. I normally don't counter. I just decline. I don't counter because if they put it out there, unless it's something like in the boonies and they're just desperate, their fee is their fee. Unless, if it's last minute, I've had a couple last minutes and they're just desperate. No one's answering. Okay, yeah, that's something you can negotiate with, but I don't really counter because they already have what they want to pay.
Exactly.
Everyone's, go ahead, Naomi.
No, I said exactly. I'm agreeing with Tamika.
But every once in a while, I will counter. Every once in a while, fewer times than not, they will give it to me at the higher rate. Otherwise, they just move on. The other thing is, I get my primary business comes from SnapDocs. On SnapDocs, it gives you an option. You can accept and you can say no. If you say no, you have several reasons why you can indicate why you said no. And one is the fee is too low. And when you click on the fee is too low, they ask you to put in your fee. And then, of course, if you put in your fee and if they accept that, then you get it. If not, they move on to the next person. That it's a numbers game. It's just a numbers game.
Exactly.
But where you going to, let me just say this for newbies. You may take, I have one company that I've been working with for 5 years. When I first started with them, she called me because her realtor, her signing agent in the area passed away. Well, they were only paying $85 for their assignments. Well, my bottom line is $90. So I took that $85 for about 6 months because I wanted her to see the kind of work that I do. And after that, I said to her, I appreciate working with you, love working with you. I took this $85 to accommodate you at a time when you lost your agent in this area. However, now I have got to move my fee to $90. It's just $5 more, y'all. She said, well, okay, Liz, when I can get that much on a file, then I'll give it to you. So I don't get as much, even today, as I used to get from them. But if she has something where she can pay more than that $85, then I get it. Otherwise, it goes to somebody else. I just decline. I don't counter with her or anything like that necessarily. I just decline. And that's what this thing, the caption here was, is the fee too low? And you have two choices. You accept or you decline. There's no sense in going on Facebook, complaining about it. Just move on to the next, because the time that you're spending fussing about it on Facebook, you could be cultivating a relationship with some of these people who you've said no to, because you're going to capture their information and then you're going to contact them and explain how you really want to work with them. You really want to develop a relationship with them. And these are the things that you're going to do. You're going to solve their problems for their signings in your area. Be a problem solver for them, not just because, you don't want the business just because you want to make some money, although we want to make money, but you want to be a problem solver for these people. Think business-wise, what can you do for me? And these people have short memories. They have short memories. It's like you're only as good as the last deal you did for them, plain and simple, because they're trying to get that work done. They're trying to push it out. In addition to that, you have to remember, you have to always be in the cultivating relationship mode, because there's always turnover. You're always having to deal with new people. You might get Sally Sue today, and you and Sally Sue get along real well. You develop that relationship. You work with Sally Sue for 6 months. Well, guess what? On month 7, Sally Sue is gone for whatever reason. But here's a good thing about title companies. If you're developing a relationship with title company, Sally Sue left title company ABC. She went to DEF. Well, guess what? She still got your information. You're going to go with her. But over here, ABCD, that new person who came in, who is, I don't know, let's call her Matrix. You don't like nobody. She's just nasty. And she thinks that you are like, you're no better than the gum on the bottom of her shoe.
Oh, man.
You ain't going to get along with that sister girl. So just remember, you're only as good as the last deal you do. You mess up too many times, guess what? They're not going to call you anymore. They're going to move on to the next. Anyway, I think we just beat that one to death. Who wants to take this one?
I'll read it.
Oh, who said that?
Naomi.
Naomi.
Go ahead, Naomi.
A Notary 8. I think that newbies have to understand that if we can all unite and say that we will at least counter with 85 and up, there will still be work out there. We can change the industry. Even if you're okay with 60, the truth is that our work is worth more than that. We can get it by forcing the hand of the lowballers. Taking the $60 jobs, I believe, is moving out of fear that nothing higher will come your way. We have to move as a unit and not just individuals to make a positive change for all. A Notary 8 to T Notary 9. Oh, T Notary 9. I agree. The people need to move as a unit. The next problem becomes how to get everyone to work as a unit. There is always the selfishness taking the lead. Then the newbie who tried to be united misses out. This is the circular agreement that is very discouraging. A Notary 8. My solution is teaching them how to calculate the expenses so they are aware of much of that $60 is profit.
Now, it sounds like somebody want us to be in a union. Is that?
You see what Regina put?
It's gonna
She
be
said
a
we
cult.
doing a notary movement. We doing a notary movement.
In my opinion, oh, anybody got any? Okay, somebody tell me what you think about this one.
I can speak on this. I'm a newbie as well. I don't mind taking the lower ones because I'm learning as I go, and it's a good experience for me. I can't remember who it was that stated sometimes they do get the low ones and then sometimes they do get the high ones. I'm in that same realm as well. Sometimes I get 60. I had one the other day that was $30, but it was only 2 pages. And now the most I've got received is 150, and that was like 5 minutes away. So for me, it compensates because I'm learning as I go. And like Tamika and Ms. Liz mentioned, if I feel it's too low after a certain amount of time, like say, for example, I'm in within my 6 months, after my 6 months, and I feel like I'm worth more now that I have the experience, then I will decline the offer. The group that I am in on Facebook, one thing I like about the ladies in that group, they're very encouraging. So, and just the other day, they had the mediator of the group, she put out a post saying, you know, if you're not going to respect the other notaries, then they're going to remove you from the group. And that was very appreciative because some people will, you know, continue on letting those individuals say what they say, do what they do to discourage the other people that's in the group. So that's my take on the whole thing. I mean,
Okay.
you do what works for you until it doesn't work for you anymore, and then you move on.
Yeah, yeah. But as far as, you know, you want to change the industry, you know, I'm not going to say that you can't, but that's a tall order.
And it's a way to go about it as well. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be, okay, like we're going to form this group and everybody in this group have to be making a sign in for $100 or more. Okay,
Yeah.
so now you have a group of people that's signing for $100 or more, but then here's this other group that's trying to get where that other group is at. What do? You just disregard those people because they're not able to get those $100 offers?
Well, my thought, and it's just me. Again, I'm a newbie, and just because others want to join in and band and just kind of say we're not going to accept but $100, hey, I let them be. And I guess I'm the way I am because once again, I'm new. Right now, I don't know my work. And so also, this is just a part-time for me. And because I love helping others, this is going to be something that's another way for me to give back. So I do work a full-time job and I have another small business on the side. So therefore, I can really pick and choose if I want to continue to take the $80 jobs or the $90 jobs. Guess what? I can do that because I have other income. I'm not limited to just or dependent on the signing agents as a lot of them are. A lot of them are pushing because that's their only source of income. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just speaking for myself.
Well, Cindy, and that's a real good point. When we have options and those people who are doing this as a full-time business need to treat it as a full-time self-employed business. This is self-employment. Self means self. It doesn't mean I'm going to rely on this group or that group to teach me what I need to know. I'm going to get what I need. And a lot of people don't want to pay for training, but they don't want to learn how to do it the right way themselves. I also have a YouTube video on there that will tell you how to do it yourself. I give you step by step. You got to do a lot of research and a lot of people, and you know, you can do that. It just takes you longer to learn that way, but you can certainly do it yourself. But you need to get into some formal training if you're new. You get into some formal training, then you still have to be discerning about where you're getting that training. You need to know, because I saw one guy decide he was going to do loan signing training, and he'd been in the business for 6 months. He'd been signing for 6 months, but he was teaching a class. Okay, where did you, anyway?
He's super smart.
Yeah. What's the next one? And then we're gonna wrap these old things up and get on to the nitty gritty.
Hey, Miss Liz.
Hey.
I'll take this one since I've been quiet. I wanted to chime in.
She been quiet.
Well, we're on the next slide now, but I did wanted to chime in after the young lady was talking. But you want me to go ahead and read this slide first?
Yes, please.
Okay.
If you were gonna chime in about something we already talked about, I'm gonna go back to that. Do you want to go back to that slide? Was that what you had comments on?
Yes, but Tamika wants me to read the slide.
I don't write nothing. Employee. Okay, that is the boss. She said she gonna move that slide back.
Miss Marsha, know you run it.
See, Tamika pull our coattails. She keeps us on point. And I was being mindful of that because we literally probably have maybe less than 15 minutes left.
Okay, so what you gonna do? You gonna read the other slide? You gonna read this one?
I really kind of want to just chime in for a
Come
minute.
on, get your chiming bell on.
Well, I wanted to go back. Could you go back to the other slide, Miss Liz?
Well, that's what I asked you, but no, you're gonna do what Tamika said do. There you go.
Well, the young lady, Naomi, was the one that was talking, and the other newbies. Okay, so I'm a newbie as well. I'm a newbie as a notary. I'm a newbie as a loan signing agent. However, my experience in real estate has been years and years worth of experience. While you guys were talking, it made me think about when you go to college and you earn your college degree. And when we come out of college, we automatically think we're going to make all this money. I know I was one of them.
My son, he said he wasn't
we think we're
less
going to
than
make
70.
because we have that bachelor's, because we have that master's, or because we have that PhD. We got our papers, and hey, they're just gonna take us, and we're gonna make this 6-figure income because we got our credentials. Well, we know in the real world it does not work that way. Because with my bachelor's degree, my salary was under $40,000 with my bachelor's degree. And then when I received my bachelor's degree, I had a boss to tell me that my degree does not constitute a raise. So because she told me that, guess what I did? I started learning more while I was up under her. She wanted to send me to every real estate training.
Wait a minute, Miss Marshall. You got 2 more minutes to wrap that up.
Okay, I'm finna wrap it up. My point is that when I look in these groups and see the complaints about the lowballing and things of that nature, and you're newbies or you haven't been doing it that long, okay, it's not going to come overnight. That was my point. Because you have your credentials, that doesn't mean that you're going to be making a 6-figure income in 30 days. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but there is research. Bob Soroka in his book, Sign and Thrive, talks about his journey as a loan signing agent. He talks about the journey. He talks about the process.
Miss Marshall,
I'm sorry. That's
you
the
going
preacher
on
side
to another story.
I know that's the preacher side coming out. I'm sorry.
Okay, but we're gonna save it. So I got to get through this PowerPoint, and then at the end, you're gonna tell Bill Soroka's story to everybody who that tells me you read that book I gave you. Huh?
Well, I'm still reading. I'm just like basically halfway through it.
Okay,
but
all right,
but
we're gonna let you talk more about it.
But you see my point, Miss Liz.
Oh, but baby, I know your point.
Miss Naomi wants to know how you got the book. Miss Marshall, how did you get that book, Miss Marshall?
Well, actually, I have 2 copies. I have one copy.
Lord, you're about to give another long story.
I have one copy that I purchased, and then Miss Liz gave her students that was in the last class a copy.
Everyone who comes to class, comes to workshop 1, gets that book.
You can
Leslie
find it
says
on
she's
Amazon.
Still waiting.
Or you can buy it on Amazon.
Leslie says she's still waiting for her book.
Okay, I mailed those books was that Friday? I mailed them. I mailed all of the books. Now, Leslie, if you didn't get yours, if you don't get it by the end of the week, then let me know, because I got the receipt and I don't know which one was which, but I can put a tracer on it. Or I'll just send you another one. Okay? All right, so look, it's just more of this. And I just brought this up so you guys could see the Facebook post that you don't need to get involved in. Some of these Facebook posts, just pass on by them. Just go on by them. You don't have to get in the fray unless you're looking for a fight that day. If you're just mad about something and you want to fight, and you know, people, Mika, what was that post you put out that one time about when people need to be careful about putting Facebook posts out there? What did that say?
Ooh, nothing like that. It says social media has made people comfortable with saying anything and not getting punched in the face.
Yeah. So just pass on by it. Like I said, make sure that, you know, make a decision about your business. You know, if you're going to follow people on Facebook, first of all, you don't need to be in 10 groups. Find yourself just a few good groups and you'll know. Become discerning about the information and about the way people talk to each other in these groups. Notary Nerd, I love Notary Nerd. If you guys are not in that group, that's one you should consider, because somebody mentioned a few minutes ago about the grammatical errors that were in one of the posts. Well, they've got people, she also has Notary Nerd University, and people in her university are going through those posts. And if the grammar isn't right, they are speaking to that. So when should I ask for more money? In my opinion, always consider the location. How far are you going? Is it a high volume loan signing area? How many notaries or signing agents are in your area? Okay, for instance, how many, in fact, trying to figure out how many loan signings you might be able to get. How many homeowners are in your area of operation? You know, decide how far you're gonna go. I think 25 miles is a long way. I saw a post today that said, this woman said she'd go 200 miles.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. That's just totally crazy. But is there new construction in your area? Look at those things to decide whether or not the business is sufficient in your area, because you don't want to travel a long way to do your loan signings. Then you consider the size of the package. You consider delayed closings, the distance that you're traveling. You consider those things when you ask for more money. Now, somebody said, you've already accepted the assignment before you know how far you're going to travel. Well, it goes by, a lot of it goes by zip codes. So you get to know where your zip codes are. But like for me, I used to travel 25 miles. I don't do that anymore. I've covered 4 cities only now. But again, I'm part-time. I'm not looking to make $10,000 a month. That's not where my head is. So I do 4 cities, and I seldom drive more than 10 miles round trip for any one signing. I have a plan for how I do my business though. Now with the package size, I do a lot of large packages. So I set that fee. And if the package is over 200 pages, if it's 201, I ask for another $20. on top of the fee that they offered. Because see, I don't know what size that package is going to be when I accept the assignment. But most of the deals that I do, they're large packages. I'm used to them. It doesn't matter. I'm good with that. And we already talked about the distance. Delayed closings. Now, here's the thing. You get an order and they tell you the closing is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock, you don't have any documents. Well, if you've got time to wait for those documents, you wait. If you don't, you simply give it back. You just say, I can't do it because it's going to bump into another closing that I have scheduled at 1 o'clock. So I'm not able to wait for those documents. And it will happen. That is going to happen. For me, typically I can wait because I always got something else that I can do, and I'm not taking any more than 1 or 2 a day. I'd like to do 1 a day, but on days when I don't, like today, I did not do any loan closing. So tomorrow I'll do 2. So you're looking at an average. Start thinking in averages. Like somebody, and I'm gonna show you an example in a minute, but somebody mentioned that she took $30 on one assignment, but she got 150 on the other. You take those and you average them to see what your fee is, because they're not all going to be the same. Does that make sense?
Yes, Rashida Walker has her hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I am curious how you do the research. I'm not yet a loan signing agent. I've just renewed my commission, and so I'm investing in training. But since the question is presented, how many homeowners are in your area of operation? How do you research that answer? Like, how do you answer that?
If you just do a Google, girl, use that Google, and you ask Google, how many homeowners are in zip code 76001? And you're going to get information. And then you go through that. I'm surprised my Google didn't start talking to me. But you just start going through, you know, when you Google, you're going to get several listings. First of all, you're looking for a government website or .org. Those are the websites that you want to work with. You go to the census. You can go to the census website. You get all kinds of information there. You find out how many homeowners are there. You can find out where the builders are. Who is, you know, you ask Google, who's building in this zip code? It's going to tell you where the buildings are going on. Go to your city website, look at the zoning. You know, you can find out if anything has been zoned for building homes. You know, a lot of farmland is being converted. What do you call it? It's not converted, but turned or whatever. Yeah, okay, it's not zoned as farming anymore. It's zoned because builders are buying the land and building homes. So you look at that kind of stuff. You connect with some builders and you'd be surprised. There are opportunities there as well.
Also check out ffiec.gov. You can get all kinds of information on a census tract. Like if you want to only do business in your area, you look up what your census tract is and you go to ffiec.gov and it'll give you every bit of information you need to know on that census tract.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't find my hand raiser, so that's why I'm not raising my hand. I'm sorry, but I have a question.
Fine.
Ms. Liz, back to the packet size. You mentioned because we don't know the packet size when we accept the offer and we go in and we see that the packet size is much more than we expected or we're used to or whatever. At that point, how would we ask for more money?
Well, I had one today. And it was, I got the package, I guess about, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock. And I opened that sucker up and it was 227 pages. I sent an email And I said, add $20 because it's over 200 pages. She responded, she said, Liz, I can only give you another $10 because when I gave you the order, I gave you an extra 10 at that time. I said, okay, cool. And I looked and she had, it was $10 over the normal fee that they pay. So I said, cool. So that's when you do it. And if you, let's just say that, and that's somebody I work with a lot, okay? And I used to just get mad when I get those packages like that. I just get mad and wouldn't say anything. And then one day I was just fussing and cussing and stuff. And she said, well, why don't you just ask for more money? Oh, okay. So that's what I did. So sometimes, but let's just say that it was somebody I didn't know, a new company, and I don't work with a whole lot of different companies now. And I'd ask for that $20 more because the package size was over 200 pages. And they said no. I'd say, okay, you can reassign it.
Okay.
So you can't be afraid if they don't meet you set your expectations. And if they don't meet your expectations, you've got to be willing to stand your ground, bite the bullet, and wait for the next one, because there will be a next one.
Of course.
Now, I will tell you people who are brand new, you people, y'all see that, you people. I will tell you that are brand new, you've got the benefit of all of this conversation on all of these groups. When I started, I didn't have any of that. I didn't know that I had the right to set my fees. So when I first started, I just took whatever they gave me. I just took it. Fortunately, and one time I went back and I looked at what I started with so I could tell you guys, hey, look, when I started, I was taking these low fees. Well, I went back and looked at the fees that I was getting in 2015, and I had to squash that because I couldn't show you that because my fees have always been pretty much steady where they are now, pretty much. But here again, my main company that I work with, I started with them 6 years ago, and I'm still with them to this day. Their base fee is $90. It was $90 then, and it's $90 now. Why do I stay with them? I'm going to show you in a little bit. And we are going to go over because it's 7:58. Is that going to be okay with everybody if we go a little bit over? I'm thinking I need another 15 minutes to present, and then we do the questions, additional questions. Is that okay? And did I answer the question? Because I went in a rabbit hole. Did I answer that question?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Tamika, pull me out of that rabbit hole.
You were doing all right. We had someone in the chat asked if you do, she said it's off topic. She already knew that. If you do a class on marketing to how you market your business.
Well,
we already did that. We already did that class. Yeah, you can go watch it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's on YouTube for you. And we just did it last month.
Yes.
And I did it twice. Mm-hmm. Okay, but some examples of what to consider for requesting fees, which we already talked about. And it is your level of experience, the distance, the number of pages, and then the last one, are you hungry? Are you hungry? If you're hungry and you know you're inexperienced, you got to cut your teeth on something. So you may cut your teeth on those lowball fees, what people consider lowball, because the people you start with may not be the people you end up with, but you've gained your experience. You've made your mistakes on those that are perhaps what you call a lowball fee. That makes sense? And think about it. If you ain't doing nothing, you sitting there at the house, go get some money. Go get some money. All right, example of what the cost of notarization. In one of those groups, they were talking about, well, how much they should be basing this on the number of notarizations that's in a package. Well, let me just tell you, in the state of Texas, what is the cost for a juric notarization? $6. An acknowledgement, $6. All right. So let's just look at this 207-page refinance. There are 13 certificates in there. 13 certificates at $6 is $78. So if you're basing it solely on the number of certificates, you would be paid $78 for that signing. Well, the fee they paid was $110. And yes, there were scan backs. Okay. Then you got a 26-page package. You've got 4 notarizations, $6. If you were basing it solely on the number of times you stamped, that would be $24. But the fee was $85. And yes, there were scan backs. Then you've got 150 pages. And it's a refinance or a purchase. It could be either one. And it's 13 notarizations to do, $6. Again, you'd make $78. And the fee that was paid on this was $150, no scan backs, all right? Then you got a 26-page seller package, $4, 4 notarizations, $6, but that one paid $150. This company, they pay $150 regardless of what it is. They pay $150. If you have a seller package, if you have a purchase package, you can usually count on having to scan that back. So you factor that in. Now, the fees are set by different companies based on their individual criteria. So if you try to unionize the notaries, you're gonna have a hard time with that, because the signing services, a lot of them are people who just decided they've signed, they've done 200 signings, they can go off and start their own signing company, okay? Once you have experience, you set your fee with what you're comfortable with. Make sure the fees are reasonable for the companies you want to work with. Do you want to work with a company who will give you 10 to 20 assignments a month at $90 per hour? $90 per signing? Or do you want to work with a company who will give you 2 assignments a month at $150? Because that's about what I get from this company. But this $90, shoot, I could get as much as I want from them, but I take between 10 and 20, depending on what I'm doing that month, because I know I'm going to get those from that company. However, I would not ever put all of my bags in my eggs in that one basket with that company, because especially going through pandemic, they hired a whole lot of new people. And a couple of those people I did not get along with at all. And they could not call me anymore. And I told them, don't ring my phone. Do not ring my phone. And of course, because of the relationship I have with the older staff people, they were able to keep that we were able to keep the relationship somewhat level. But you as a signing agent, you set your expectations. And just because you are a signing agent, just because you are a new agent, you do not allow people to disrespect you. You are going to respect them. You expect that they are going to respect you. And if they do not, what you gonna do? You're gonna move the hell on. You move on.
Watch
Okay?
out, please.
Sorry. Anybody got any questions about this? No? Okay. Let's look at something else. This is a sample fee calculation based on signings that I did, and this is from a few years ago. And also, my disclaimer, this is not an exact science, but a few years ago, fees came up. So I put together this little spreadsheet and I posted it everywhere. But sometimes if you don't know where to go look for stuff, then you don't know. So I decided to share this with you guys tonight. When I came into this business, I had been retired for 3 years and I just needed a little bit of money to supplement my income. I went to the dollar store. They wouldn't hire me. I was willing to go over and stand on my feet. I'm an old lady, but I was willing to stand on my feet for 20 hours a week for $14, $15 an hour, and that would have given me what I needed, but they wouldn't hire me. Friend of mine told me do loan signing. She told me it was mobile, I got to drive. I ain't doing that. I don't like to drive. Next month rolled around, I still needed $500 in my budget. I called her back and I said, okay, tell me about this loan signing. And of course, you know, I've got 30 plus years, actually 40 now, 40 years of mortgage banking experience. So I know the documents, right? So I said, well, tell me about it again. So she told me, and I jumped out there, made some errors, made some mistakes, because I was busy trying to be an advisor. I was busy trying to be a loan originator. I was busy trying to be a loan officer. There's quite a distinct difference. I don't care if you do know mortgages. Loan signing is different. That same company I was talking about, she taught me how to be a signing agent. And then I just merged that, or I married the two, the loan signing and my mortgage experience, to become an excellent loan signer. I'm not fast, but I'm good. Now, remember, I said I was going over there to the dollar store and make $15 an hour. So the job before my retirement, I made $80 an hour. Well, I know I'm not going to make that kind of money doing this. So I had to set my baseline. So my baseline was $30 an hour. I need to make sure I am making $30 an hour. How do I get there? This is where you start looking at your profit margin, guys. Now, I took a loan package that was 250 pages. They paid me $105. I broke down the print time, the time for me to review it. I traveled 30 minutes for this assignment. My car maintenance, 89 cents a mile. I just based it on when I take my car for my oil changes and things of that nature. At that time, the cost of gas was $2.30 a gallon. It's over that this week, but that's where it was at that time. Cost of paper, because I buy it by the case. That was $4 for me to print, because, you know, hey, 250 pages, I got to print it twice. That's a whole ream of paper. The cost of the cartridge at that time, $75, because cartridges are expensive. I was at the closing table for an hour. My rate is, I want $30 an hour. So I come down here and I add all of that up. I got my review time. What did it cost me? And I'm doing tick marks on this stuff to get to make sure that I'm writing down how much time this stuff is taking me, how much time each thing is taking. The travel time, I counted $15 for my travel time. My car maintenance, okay, here it is, $13. My gas, $4.60. That paper, $3. I divided that by whatever, by the case. The cartridge, that was $15. I used $15 of that $75 that I paid for that cartridge. I was at the closing table for an hour. So that was $30. So I got an hourly desired rate of $30 up here. The cost of doing this thing is $85. $85 from 105, $85.95. I made $19.05, right? Wrong, because I come over here because I've already counted the $30. So I add the $30 plus the 19. So now I got $49 an hour. For me, that ain't bad, because keep in mind, I was gonna go work at the dollar store for how much? $15 an hour, and I would have been on my feet. So you can take this and you just drop your own numbers in a spreadsheet like this to calculate what you want, what the cost of doing business is. What is it going to cost you to do a loan? And you will have to do an average because not all of them are going to give you the same fee. Not all of them are going to take you an hour. If you will remember, some of them, it's 26 pages or whatever, may take you 5 minutes. Well, it's going to take you longer than 5 minutes because it takes you 5 minutes to take stuff out of your bag. But let's say it take you 15 minutes. So you have to do an average in order to figure out what your true costs are. Does this make sense? And don't nobody start trying to correct my math.
Somebody wants that spreadsheet in the chat. I don't know if that's the case. You can do that since you have it on a PowerPoint. Maybe we could email it. We can email it to all the.
But they're gonna get the whole PowerPoint.
Well, she's saying it's hard to see it.
It's hard to. Is it? Oh, it's not all over the screen.
It is.
Okay, I tell you what. We got 71 people on here. Mika, you will be able to identify those 71 people, right?
No.
No?
I mean, that would take too much deciphering. I'll just send it to everyone that signed up.
Okay, we'll do that. Does that work for y'all? And it's also in my Facebook. If you're on my Facebook, in my Facebook group, it's in the file section there. But yes, we will send this to you. Okay? Any questions on this?
Someone saying just the recording will be posted to the YouTube channel as well as I'll post it to the Facebook. But I can also go ahead and send the PowerPoint. That's not a problem. That's easy peasy.
Okay. So anyway, in conclusion, get trained. Set reasonable expectation. Learn to just say no, not available, counter the offer, and keep it moving without blasting companies on Facebook. You never know who's watching. Your comments represent your professional position in this business. Call your bestie to vent instead of blasting signing services and title companies on Facebook. And also, finally, remember, this information is based solely on the opinion of Liz Head, EC Head Notary Training Workshops. Okay? Join us for our workshops that are held monthly. Notary 101, because you need that ground zero, because keep in mind, you want to do loan signings. Well, your responsibility in a loan signing is to notarize the signatures. So that means you've got to be able to understand the notarial certificates, and you've got to know when the notarial certificate is incorrect and how to correct it. That's your ground zero. That's your ground zero. And then, of course, get familiar with the most commonly used documents, how to get hired, what to do when you get hired, how to close out an appointment. And our quarterly workshops, which are the advanced documents on reverse mortgages, cash outs, and HELOCs. Okay, so that's it, y'all. Questions?
Miss Naomi had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned before when you were going through the packaging and delay closing and stuff like that about reaching out to the title companies. So we receive a title company. I'm with SnapDocs and Notary Go. So say I receive a title company in one of those platforms. Can I personally reach out to that particular title company?
You can.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if that was stepping over SnapDocs and Notary Go. I didn't know if that was like an out of line kind of a thing. So I just wanted to make sure.
You just have to be careful how you do it. And here's the other thing. You're new. So it's like, okay, because some signing services will tell you not to reach out to the title company because see, they may think that you're trying to take their business. Because see, if the title company goes direct with you, they're no longer going through that signing service. You've just taken their business. Personally, I would never reach out to a title company that I get business from, say from BNN, because that's my bread and butter. However, most of the title companies that I do direct business with right now have come from BNN, from SnapDocs, where BNN sent them to me. But they developed their own platform. They no longer use SnapDocs. So they call me and say, will you work direct with us? Of course I will.
Okay.
So you want to be mindful that you do not step on any signing services toes, because look at it this way. You're asking to go direct with one title company who might give you 2, 3 a month. Whereas that signing service is not only working with that one title company, but they're working with a lot of title companies. And let's say you're getting 15 deals from that signing service, but from different title companies. You, poach their title company, and they got a friend at that title company who will call them and say, hey, guess what? Naomi, who you did a closing for us through you, reached out to me and want my business. Tell you what you can do though. When you send your package back, just include your business card.
Okay.
You didn't ask anybody for any business. You just put your business card in there. And then if your signing service tell you not to do it, then don't do it with that signing service.
Okay, I got you. Makes sense.
Hey, Regina Smith. That's here again, Naomi. That's my opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, that's what I said. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Hey, Faith. I can see y'all now. Bettina, hey. Okay, anything else? Now, somebody just sent me a friend request. Is it somebody who's on here? Those friend requests that go to my personal Facebook, I don't do nothing on that Facebook group, and it's very limited, so I don't accept friend requests on there. But y'all can go to the EC Head Notary Training Workshop all day long. That's where I do my talking. The little bit that
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that was you.
I just saying thank you.
Yeah.
Someone asked, let me go back to it. Did you divide the 1905 by the time spent?
No, did I divide the 1905? The 1905 is a part of the time spent. I added all of it together, and then I subtracted everything from that $105 fee. So I broke each one of them down. Faith, it looks like you were talking, or were you talking to somebody else? Because your mic is off. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else? Latoya, where are you? Did that help, Latoya? There you are. Did that help? Because you were asking a question earlier. Did that answer the questions that you had earlier when we were on the phone? Or
It did answer the question, because like I said, if I don't have a signing to do and someone sends me an email about a bid, I knew if I put $100 or more, I wouldn't get it. So I just went with the 86. And I mean, I didn't have anything scheduled for that day. So I'm going to continue doing that. So it did help.
Good. Mr. Brown. Mr. Gregory Brown.
Why are you calling
Yes.
people out?
Well, because you know what? He ain't got no friends on here. Let me see.
Male.
Oh,
We don't have no friends on there.
well, we had one guy in class today, and he felt some kind of way because he was the only guy, And one
That's
of
his
them women
problem,
kept
not mine.
picking on him. They were picking on him.
That's his problem, not mine.
Great. Mr. Brown said he in heaven.
I ain't
Okay.
scared.
Wait a minute. There's Carla sent you a message in the chat, Tamika.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I got this.
She asked if I was single.
No! Miss Brown, no sir. No sir. This ain't Match.com. This ain't Match.com.
That's hilarious.
This ain't Match.com.
Just trying to see some smiles on some faces. That's all.
Yes, I know. I know. Well, Mr. Brown, was this helpful for you? Are you a newbie or are you an old head?
I got my notary in September of last year, and a lot of my signings come through loan closers.
Okay, yes, that's a good one.
And a few others. But I tell you, that Notary to Go, they will send me stuff at 12:30 in the morning, but it'd be like $40 and $60 going 3-hour round trip.
And then you just say no and keep it moving, right?
And that's what I've done. But there's a couple of them that were close that I would accept, but they were, you know, I'm in Houston, Texas, so they were cashbacks. And what I wanted to ask you is, you either have to sign at a law office or a title company.
Correct.
So with that being said, I don't have those at my disposal. Like if I got a signing and they're located in Sugar Land, which is south of Houston, right? I don't have a title company right offhand. Or even if there was one, I would get one near Beaumont. I'm like, I don't have a title company or a lawyer out there so that's what I come up against with them a lot.
Okay, I've got several YouTube videos on Texas cash outs.
Yeah, I was just on your YouTube when you called me out. I got a little setup of like 4 screens because I'm a licensed property insurance adjuster too. So the last company I was with, I needed multiple screens, and when they let me go at the beginning of the pandemic, I kept them. So,
I know that's right.
So I was looking at I just subscribed to your YouTube and I was looking through that, and when you called me out, so.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, but you know what? You were right in my line, in my eyesight, whatever you call it.
I thought I might have been on page 3 or 4 or something like that. Hidden.
You popped up. You popped up. But here's the thing. So you'll find some YouTube videos on cash outs.
Okay.
Just go look at those because they did make some changes because of pandemic. But don't go crazy about doing it, you know, in the parking lot. They'll let you do it in the parking lot, but you still got to get permission. So what you do is just Google attorney offices and title companies. Decide what your area of operation is. Like if you'll go 10 miles, you want to find title companies that are in that area. Because keep in mind, when you're doing the cash outs and it says a title company or an attorney's office, so forth and so on, it's not necessarily one that's going to be close to you, but more so one that's close to the people your customers. So if you're going to go to Sugar Land or you're going to go to Pearland, or if you're going to go, so you want to make sure you have offices in those areas. Right. So that if you get that call, you can say, well, not for no $30, $40, but if you get that call, then you can say yes, and you know you already have established that relationship with title companies or attorney offices in those areas. So it's all about establishing relationships, y'all.
Right.
I don't care what nobody tell you. This is a sales job, and you're selling yourself and you're selling your service. But it is a sales job, and you have to treat it as such. And then you have to throw in that sensitivity. You have to throw in that compassion for the people we are serving, but we're getting paid to do it.
Right. Appreciate it.
Alicia has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I am down in Georgia, and I just wanted to know, do you have on your social media or your YouTube of how to get the signings because I'm in SnapDocs, but I'm not receiving anything?
Well, first of all, you have to understand your notary laws, and you have to understand that, for instance, Georgia is an attorney state. Therefore, you will not get a whole lot of loan signings from your regular sources because attorneys have to be present for the loan closings. Now, what you will perhaps consider is to start visiting and marketing to attorneys, because keep in mind, what they will sometimes do, they will send you out to do that signing, but they will have you put them on speakerphone while you're at the closing getting that done. We have to do the same thing here. Let's just say that we get a loan and it's for a Georgia property. The attorney has got to be present. Well, he's on the phone. I've done 2 of them, and the attorney's just on the phone. Actually, one time he was on the phone during the whole closing. The other time he told me, okay, fine, just call me when you're done. Georgia is an attorney state.
Okay.
Liz, I'm
But
glad
that
I was
doesn't
on.
mean you can't, that doesn't mean you can't get the business, you just get it in a different way.
Gotcha.
I'm
Yes,
glad
sir.
I was on that because my
Thank you.
sister, I used to live in Atlanta and my sister lives there now, and I got her into loan signing as well. And she's kind of frustrated, but we both took the loan signing systems training. And he did mention that, and she was always wondering, well, is she gonna have to get her business always through the signing agents? But I don't think I ever recalled him mentioning like marketing directly to the attorney's offices. So I'm gonna let her know that. Yeah.
Yep, you market
Appreciate it.
direct, you market direct to the attorneys, and you also focus on general notary work. Look, guys, here's the other thing about that general notary work. I was hoping Regina Kennedy was going to be on here tonight, but she's going to do a presentation on
She was on here.
Regina, you here?
She might not be here now, but she was.
Regina works with some attorneys, and they called her one day just to do a general notary. And then they called her, she made, let's say $100. They called her the next time. She developed a relationship with them. Keep in mind, I said general notary. I did not say loan signing, but they called her back and they needed her to meet one gentleman in Irving and the other one, I think, in Dallas. I may be wrong, but it was 2 different locations. Well, they paid her $600. She spent less than 2 hours, but they paid her $600. Attorney charge, when you get deals from attorneys, they can often pay you more than getting it direct from title companies or through signing services. Because keep in mind, that attorney who just paid her $200, the people that, the attorney client probably paid them $5,000. So she got 600 of that 5,000 because their rate could be $650 an hour. So they just gave her 600. So do not discount general notary work. There is money to be made in general notary work, and you have to work it, and you're not going to think about this as a journey. You're on this journey to get to that 6 figures that you know you can achieve in this business, but you're going to have to work it. Think about how when you were going to a 9 to 5 and it was supposed to be 9 to 5, but those of us who were in management, it was more like 6 to midnight sometimes. We were always working. It was just this weekend. Latoya and Tamika were comparing notes with them being on those 9 to 5 and their kids on a blanket under their desk. And Tamika had to share with them that when she was little and we didn't have the little bitty TVs that kids have now, she was lugging her big TV to my office. That's how you work your own business. You put in the same efforts, the same time that you were putting in on that 9 to 5. and they would hand you your little paycheck at the end of the week or at the end of 2 weeks or once a month. And then when they decided you were no longer of use to them, they stepped over you and hired somebody younger because you were making too much money.
All right. Thank you for that rabbit hole.
Sorry.
Good information, but it's 8:30.
Okay, y'all. I'm done.
All right. Thank you. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night.
Good night. Thanks.
Bye.
Good
Come
night,
again.
ladies.
Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.